Review all government contracts and find out if there are provisions that may be detrimental to the public. This was the President's marching order for the Solicitor General, the Justice Secretary, and all legal offices of all agencies during Monday's cabinet meeting. Malacanang says contracts with onerous provisions may be rescinded even if they are currently being enforced. Justice Secretary Minardo Guevara says the review will primarily cover concession agreements with public utilities and foreign loan contracts.
If it is in violation of the Constitution, you can rescind it. You can strike it down.
Presidential spokesman Sal Panelo says the President's directive stemmed from his frustration over the contract between the government and water concessionaire Maynilad. The contract was signed during the Ramos administration. Last year, the government lost to the West Zone concessionaire, which sued it for suspending rate adjustments in 2015 to 2016, resulting in revenue losses. A Singapore-based arbitral court ordered the government to pay Maynilad more than 3 billion pesos in compensation. The Duterte administration wants to go after officials behind the Maynilad contract and make sure that the so-called onerous provisions there are not repeated in other agreements.
In that contract, the government, the Republic of the Philippines, was prohibited into intruding into the terms of the contract. And that's why we lost. That contract was entered into by the government and drafted by lawyers of the government. There could be collusion between the lawyers of the government and the lawyers of the private company. We cannot do that. We have to prosecute them.
Loan agreements with China are covered by the review. This early, though, Malacanang is already clearing the contracts involving the controversial Chico River Dam and the Kaliwa Dam projects.
We can always go back to it, but as far as the Department of Finance is concerned, it's above board.
The President's directive to review existing contracts may not sit well with investors who often look for predictability when entering deals. They don't want rules changed in the middle of the game. Malacanang, however, is not worried about this, saying the President's order will just warn potential investors against drafting unconstitutional agreements with the government. Ina Andolong, CNN Philippines.